Yeah, my name is Nick Smoot, and I'm originally from about 2 hours south of Canada and 4 hours in from Seattle in a small resort town called Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. And my business partner and I, Alan Hartwig, we like to focus on mobile startup companies, and Alan's a genius when it comes to product design and innovation, and I can't give him enough accolades. And so then we'll pick a vertical we believe needs a really great solution, and then we try and create it and move it as quickly into the hands of, or the pockets and on the phones of as many people as possible. And currently what we're doing is it's a company called HereOnBiz, and the whole idea is that it's instant business networking. I guess the perfect way to explain it is, yeah, I've been stuck at the airport a billion times, and every time I'm stuck there with a layover, it would be nice to know, someone I went to college with, or someone that works in a similar industry as me that I could go meet up and have it with. And so we built an app that allows for that to happen, kind of serendipitously, to where you can see who's in the airport with you or around you. It was interesting. When we first started researching this, about a year-ish ago, Alan and I started talking about this idea because we had been traveling. He and I both have been traveling a lot, and it was just frustrating because there was nothing out there that would allow business professionals to connect in real time or see who's around you. There were dating apps and different things, and to speak to the LinkedIn community and ecosystem, their mobile app, especially about a year ago, is fairly weak, and it's been getting better and better and better, but they're not focused on doing chat or kind of who's around you stuff that's geo-aware. They're not focused on having a geo-aware Rolodex, and it's not something that they're planning on doing anytime soon. They've got their goals that they're going after, and LinkedIn. It's actually LinkedIn is Jeff, their CEO, is on the cover of Forbes this month, and really they focused on three areas of profitability, and they just don't do anything that pulls them away from those three things. And this would be something that would pull them away to have to focus their people on it. Absolutely, yeah. We're LinkedIn is the social network that we're using their API, and you download our app from the App Store. You log in with your username and password from LinkedIn, and then it pulls in your contacts that are using the app, as well as let you see other LinkedIn users around you who are using our app. And so you're correct that we're a platform or a network kind of on top of the network. A lot like a good way to describe it that some people know is, how Path sits on top of Facebook, and it's a more curated, kind of intense version of for Facebook users. In the same way, we're doing that with LinkedIn for business professionals, and we realize, we don't want to create another social network. We don't think there's a need for that, but we do believe that there's a need for the tools that we're providing to the business community. When we first started, we didn't know anybody really at LinkedIn, and it was more of a theory of, let's hope that they don't want to do this, or that this isn't going to come. Like, we would watch have the Google alerts on certain words and just hope we wake up the next morning not seeing that they launched it. And as we're working away on it, and even if they chose to do it, I believe we still, and we've talked about this with internally as well as with many other people, that we still have a model and the ability to do something, because, to be honest, Alan does incredible user design and experience, and to be frank, I think we have the best looking mobile app in regards to geo awareness and chat, and especially for business professionals, that's out there. So even if we had to, we can change and play off of different networks. We could make it our own thing where you create your own profile when you log in. There's a lot of options, but we desire to be complementary to LinkedIn, because much like you were talking about Zynga, Facebook, is that from what we now know is that LinkedIn has their plan and their model, and they don't necessarily want to do what we're doing, and so we're trying to complement them and their community to give a value add to their pre-existing network. And LinkedIn, we believe, is hands down the most useful network for business professionals. There's no question about that. And so we want to give a great tool and complement in that space together. It's right now we're iOS only, so for the iPhone.
Yeah.
And at some point, we're talking about Android and all the other ones. We'll follow demand for whichever platforms are strongest. But yes, you can download the application from iTunes, and we've had downloads in over 23, I think, countries now, and it's growing all the time with more and more downloads around the world. Yeah, we've early on we had one gentleman that's wanted to do things with us from the beginning, because this is Alan and I's second startup together. We exited our first one in 8 months, and
Congratulations.
this a friend of ours. Thank you, and this friend of ours that we've known for years. Um, he's always said he wanted to do something with us, and so early on we took on a little bit of cash from him just to get him involved, and even more so, he's a kind of an email marketing guy, and we partnered on those ends because we saw a lot of potential there. But for the most part, it's been fairly strapped, and we did our last one completely bootstrapped. We're getting ready to closing out some seed kind of funding right now, and then we'll push into kind of the next phase and keep driving. There's a few pieces to it that, to be totally honest, I think like most startups, is at some point you do see an acquisition, and that's the hope, is that you create something of value. There are positions that we can move to, dealing in goods and services for professionals. Having to do, we could create some sort of a premium model if we really wanted, and add some extra bells and whistles. There's the idea of white label. There's the idea of kind of co-branding for geofenced areas, for offers that people would care for, or as well as let's say a big convention's going on, and IBM wants to co-brand with us for a whole area. Those are options that we can do. But to be honest, right now, our biggest focus right now is we'll worry about that in a few months. We've got our plans in place. Our investors that are looking at it love what we're doing. They see how we can make that shift when the time is right. But the biggest need right now is for us to keep creating an incredible product that business professionals are falling in love with, and drive more awareness to that community so that we can meet their pain point. And that's our main focus right now. But profitability, there are a couple pieces that we're playing with that are a lot of fun. We believe that for just as a team with Alan and I, is that our biggest thing that we care about is truly serving people with a great thing. If we ever got in the dealings of selling goods and services up front, we'd consider ourselves e-commerce, but we really don't see ourselves that way. We see ourselves as creating solutions to industry-wide problems that our solutions can scale globally very quickly. And this is just another example of it, that we do care about driving users over, driving dollars right now. If we have to go there at some point, and when we have to go there, we're prepared and ready. And we also know we'll never be an obnoxious advertising platform, banner ads. If we ever even got into that space, it's more of a you want these certain goods and services from us because you're a business professional. Let us help get those to your pocket. So it's more of a requested experience of giving them great things. There's been some great companies that are starting to download it. Lots of their employees and staff, and some of their C-level execs and leaders throughout organizations. And we've seen people at Barclays, JP Morgan Chase, Prudential, Apple, LinkedIn. A lot of people at LinkedIn.
Sounds like some great companies.
Yeah, American Express, Walmart Inc. Just great people using it, and on the ends of you start with some of them that are your marks for exits. Our biggest we believe this is that we're creating a very engaged community of business professionals who want to, they're power networkers, and they want to know who's around them right then and there. And the people that we're bringing together, I guess, from a user experience, these are real people with real jobs, making real money, And it's not just I'm connecting with you because we both like the same TV show. It's, hey, you've got a job in a similar industry. You went to my college. Let's get together and talk about what we can do in business. So we believe also, we're a help to the economy. We're helping people find the next job or make a bigger paycheck or open that new line of business to move their company forward. And we feel good about what we're contributing there. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's one of those things that when we started with this idea, the problem was how it came up is that my Alan and I were traveling around, and at the end of the day, we're mid-20s, entrepreneurs. Now we're in BD and product roles, traveling the country in New York, DC, LA, Boston. At the end of the night, we'd want to meet other people that were people similar to us that are business execs, people getting it done, and we'd find ourselves having to manipulate current platforms to try and get that done, and it just wasn't working well. And so when we did start planning this out, we thought, what is the best network? It's for sure LinkedIn. And some of the upsides to that are correct. There's different statistics I've seen out there. Like the power users of LinkedIn are making about 120 to 130, I think, power networkers or people with a certain number of connections on there. But the average income, if you just span it across their whole community, is, I believe, $91,000 a year for a household income, which is a decent amount. And a lot of them, there's questions about those numbers. Like I said, I've seen some that are, if you have above this many connections, they're making about 120, and that's as an individual. But power networkers in the app that are making money, making moves, and they do have that disposable income to where a lot of them are per diem travelers as well. So, they're on the road and they've got the company card. They're going to be spending it somehow. So it's been funny. We've got a lot of interest from hotels and bars and different groups that are going, hey, how do we get in front of these people? We've had one guy who used the app aggressively while he was traveling, checking into his meetings, and his views on LinkedIn went from an average of 9 per day up to 62 on that specific day that he was checking in. Yeah. So everyone was trying to see what is he doing, what kind of business is he doing. It was a great interaction there. So we've heard people meeting and hunting down new hires, and no one's gotten married yet, but we'll share that story when we can do the HereOnBiz wedding bells. Headquartered down here, and specifically focused on the Santa Monica areas where we spend most of our time. We're looking to right now. I just got off a call about office space that we've been entertaining different spots, and usually Alan and I, we just don't do office space. We work from wherever we want, but we're getting ready to make some hires, and we need to house them in a happy spot that they think is cool and enjoyable. Because if you want the right staff, you got to keep them happy. So we're looking in like Santa Monica, Venice right now in a couple spaces that are pretty awesome. We've processed that, and to be honest, our goal and desire is to stay put here, and especially with certain relationships we're continuing to build. But if there's the need to move to the Valley, we'll move to where the demand is, to be honest. I love LA, love the scene here, love Silicon Beach and what's happening. But at the same time, it'd be ignorance to say if we had an invitation to, put our feet down in San Francisco, in the Palo Alto area. If there's the need, we would consider it for sure. I'm not going to turn down. We're not going to turn down an investment from Reid Hoffman and offices right next door to him if we had to.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the thing that is my favorite so far would just be is that there's a tenacity that seems like there's about the community right now of trying to understand its identity, and I think it's starting to come into its own. When I first got here, because I moved out here last fall, and when I first got here, everyone was talking about, like, what are we going to call it? Is it Silicon Beach? Is it this? Is it that? And finally a name is kind of stuck. And now it's just this, like, exciting, group that anything happens and people are like, I want to be there. I want to network. I want to be a part of it. And I think everyone's figuring out their fit right now. My favorite part of it, I think, is just the tenacity and excitement and getting to be in the midst of it and, have a company that's succeeding and helping other people make theirs successful as well. It's fun. But that buzz, yesterday they announced that there was going to be a meetup with the founder of SpaceX and Tesla, and that he's going to be there speaking. They sold out 400 tickets in like 2.5 hours. It was just, it's ridiculous. And that shows the buzz. They did a pizza and beer night just to kind of hang out. There's over 200 people RSVP'd ahead of time just to show up and have pizza and beer, a block from the beach, and talk about tech and be geeky. So it's an interesting intersection of surfing and geek. We're launching a V2 that has an incredible redesign. I'm already amazingly proud of what the design that Alan has built out, and that we work together on it. But hands down, he's the genius behind everything when it comes to user experience and creative design. We're doing a new interface, and there's some fun new bells and whistles inside of that. Some of them I want to kind of hold back for everybody to be excited about and see in the V2 coming. Should be tail end of July, beginning of August that it drops. And other than that, really over the next 12 months, everything that we're doing is all about putting our app in the pockets of excellent business professionals and aspiring professionals that want to continue to grow. And we're thinking through a lot of fun customer acquisition strategies and ways that we believe this is that a good product that looks great, works well, and fixes a real problem shouldn't be that hard to move, and especially when it's free. So we've got some fun ways that we're positioning this to tell our story. And make our story a part of other people's stories to fix their pain. And, anything from hotels to airports. I think there's some really, really fun things we're going to be doing and are working on right now that will cause, hopefully droves to continue to come to the app and download it like crazy. But that's our game over the next 12 months is tons of downloads. Name of the show is Shoestring, right?
Yep.
Perfect. Well, the steps are you can go to a couple of things. You can go to HereOn.biz, and there's a button that says Get the App. You could go to get.HereOn.biz, and then that'll take you to the App Store. Or you can go to the App Store and type in HereOnBiz, and then it'll pop up that way. And just download it. And when it loads onto your iPhone or iPad or iPod Touch, then you can log in. You use your LinkedIn username and password, and then it creates your account. You go through a simple step to choose your hometown, and it's very intuitive. And then you can start inviting in your contacts. Inside of the network tab on the phone, there's a little button in the upper right-hand corner that pulls in your LinkedIn contacts, and you can touch who you want. Sends them an invite. And then you'll start seeing who is on LinkedIn that is also using the app around you, and you can start chatting with them or requesting connections. And there's SMS-based conversations. The other thing that I was going to say about the cool code that you could use is there's a check-in feature on the app that's in the upper right-hand part of the main menu. And when you go to the main screen, you could check in up there and type in Shoestring. And if you want to check in on Shoestring for a few days, if everybody who's watching this checks in with that, then you could see who else around you watches the show, because it'll create a subcategory of just people who are viewers of Shoestring.
Oh, no way. I'm checking that out right now.
Yeah, so it's just kind of a cool idea that you could do. And people all around the world, then whoever watches it can see, I'm with you as well. We've got a group that's using this for their developer community, that they're sending it out that they can all check in with a certain code word, and it creates a subset. So then all around the world, let's say in Berlin, you check in with their word, and then everybody else checks in with a word, and you notice, oh gosh, there's 6 other guys around me that are part of this community. We should get together right now. So it's kind of a fun thing.